My first role is business innovation, and my second role is I run the project management office. So that means that I run all of the strategic projects for the organization on a 3-year cycle, really focused in on continuous improvement. The business innovation actually came as a component of that because I felt like maybe we weren't really looking at the right projects and we weren't focusing on the right things of how to go about doing it. So some of the things that we do in business innovation, I get that question all the time, sort of like, what is innovation? And people often have their own ideas of what innovation is. So the first thing I say is I don't do anything with the product. So I don't touch the truck or anything about the truck. We have an advanced engineering group that focuses on the truck and everything about it. What my world is really about is providing an environment and changing the environment within our organization. So it's much more cultural on how to encourage people to think about problems in a different way and how to solve problems in a different manner. So a lot of times I plant seeds and I provide a little bit of shelter for people. Sometimes I need to give them a little bit of money to start a project and then watch it grow and teach them how to explain that project to the rest of the organization so that they can sort of get change to happen throughout the organization. Some of the things that we do is we run an internal accelerator. So I went to an event one night that was called What Can You Learn from a Startup? And it was a guy talking about how he incubates these companies. And I was completely fascinated by the concept of a venture capitalist will give you $0 on day 1, and on day 91, they'll put $10 million into your startup. And I thought, what in the world is happening in this 90 days, and how do I take advantage of it? So I started doing a lot of studies on accelerators and what the process is that they do and how they problem solve through that time period. So what I did is I pitched it to our CEO, and I said, I want to do this. And I had nothing. I had no experience, no reason to call it a success. I just said, I know it's something we have to try, but I want to try it differently. So what we did is, instead of incubating companies, we incubate our employees. So we pull 10 people out of the company from various different departments for the 90 days. And in that process, we go through the same basic concepts, which is the first concept is really learning about the problem, which means that we have to take all of the employees out to dealers and out to customers and to visit our salesmen and visit our engineers and really learn, actually be in the seat of what's happening. For oftentimes it's the first time they've actually been in one of our products and they understand what a truck driver's life is. The second 30 days is really focused on ideation and heavy mentorship. So not only do we bring in mentorship from within the organization, but every contact I know outside of the organization comes in and participates and helps them through the process, including our board and our CEO come through as mentors in the process. The last 30 days is really about pitch practice, like how to actually package it up in a way that we can sell it. We've been doing it for 4 years. We run it only once a year because it's extremely intensive to sort of like put it together. But it's been really successful, and we have products that are actually in the market today that were founded out of that sort of concept. So that's a little bit about what I do today, and I'll back up a little bit and say I've been with Daimler for 15 years. I actually went to school as a CPA and trained as a CPA, so I came into the organization in the controlling organization, and I was the controller for sales and marketing for several years. My first sort of aha moment happened there. We were in the process of renegotiating and looking at some contracts, and I couldn't understand why the customer would want to do some of the things we were looking at trying to get the customer to do. And so, like a good little accountant, I sort of made 2 sets of books, one for the customer's perspective and one from our perspective, to make sure I really understood the problem. And our head of sales basically was like, this is fantastic, this is great, and you're a CPA, so I'm going to take you with us on the sales calls, and you're going to interact with their CFOs, and you're going to help me close these deals. And I was like, yeah, no, I stay here and I do the books. And that was a real aha moment for me because he had confidence and he mentored me in a way that nobody ever had in my career up until that point. And so I owe him a lot for having the confidence and the courage to drag me along. We closed 24 out of 25 contracts over the next 6 months. And it was really a pivotal moment for me in my career in how I moved through to sort of see myself and what I was capable of. So from that role, I moved into the sales organization, and I took over all the back-end office of sales and really sort of became his right hand and did all of the things it took to help close deals, to help organize things, to really put the structure in place. And I found that that's really a home for me, is creating structure out of chaos. So I did that role for a couple of years, and then like many women and future or previous panelists, I found myself at a point where I was ready to have another child, and I went out on maternity leave. And during this entire time, they were also moving the sales and marketing department to the other side of the country. And I had just got married, I was pregnant, I'm like, yeah, that's not where I want to go, sort of what am I going to do? And I was fortunate enough to be able to stay with the company and yet again find another career within the same company, which was to move into project management. And when I took 6 weeks off for my maternity leave, and when I came back, we were in the process of shutting down a brand. And I don't know if anyone's ever found a book. If you do, let me know, because nobody's ever written anything on how to actually shut a brand down and still be successful with it. So I was challenged with many things that I never dreamed, or there was no book, there was no anything sort of how to figure it out. And I found I really did well in that situation. I could figure things out. Just give me a little bit of time and let me really think through and give me access to people that I could talk to. And I was fortunate enough that the company really saw that strength in me. And so the department that I'm in now and the operations that I do didn't really exist before. So they've created this entire department sort of around some of the pieces that I do. And like I said, a lot of it's just planting seeds and providing shelter for others in the organization. Now, I see my role a lot as mentoring and helping others to really understand what they're capable of doing and bringing that about. So that's my story.